You can always watch our coverage on our website, ntd.com. And they say those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Well, our reporter Kevin Hogan spoke with a national security analyst about the Russian Bolshevik Revolution. We hear his take on how that revolution appears similar to what's happening now in the U.S.
Protests and unrest plagued the U.S. this year. That's coupled with politicians offering promises to end what they call a climate emergency and systemic racism. Added to that, an election process now weighed down by court battles and media allegations. So what's really going on? National security analyst Kenneth Abramowitz compares what's happening in the U.S. to how Vladimir Lenin and his party seized power in Russia during the Bolshevik Revolution.
They used the power of deception, aided by the media and social media, which are basically wings of the Democrat Party. Bolsheviks had Pravda, which was a newspaper. Pravda means truth. It was actually full of lies. Well, today, our media and social media are full of lies. And they convinced the American population that Biden got 52% of the vote, when he probably got closer to 45%.
A number of major news networks cut away from President Trump's speech on election night. That's when he asserted he had won and suggested something suspicious happened with the vote. What's more, a GOP chairman tweeted facts showing 9,000 some votes were incorrectly given to Biden. Yet Twitter flagged the post, attaching a statement describing voter fraud as rare. Abramowitz pointed out the Bolsheviks were not the front-running party and only got 25% of the vote. Yet Lenin and his communist agents rose to power. He says the mainstream media convinced the public Biden received a majority of the vote.
So massive deception campaign and then massive voter fraud. Also, they learned from the Bolsheviks. And aided by armed forces, Antifa and Black Lives Matter are basically the armed militia of the Democrat Party. And the Republican Party didn't disarm them. Big mistake. And so similarly, the Bolsheviks created chaos with their armed militia, and the Tsar should have put them all in jail. He didn't.
In August, Black Lives Matter protesters in Washington, D.C. pressured a diner into raising her fist to show solidarity. Abramowitz says Maoist-style shaming and intimidation are inherent in Antifa and BLM, reflecting Chinese and Russian influence. Lenin also made 3 unrealistic promises to the people to gain popularity. They were peace, land, and bread. But under Lenin's leadership, the country fell into civil war. The government confiscated the land and rationed the bread, killing about 5 million people. Abramowitz compares these ideas to the Green New Deal, free college tuition, and violent movements claiming systemic racism.
They're false narratives. And they're not solvable by definition, because you can't solve a false narrative. And you can spend trillions and trillions and trillions, and you'll never get to the finish line of a false narrative. So they pick these wonderful sounding things, but they're actually immoral and unethical, every single plan that they have.
Abramowitz says Trump should criminalize Dominion voting systems and Smartmatic and make sure any easily hacked systems or systems with foreign parts are blocked during U.S. elections. Kevin Hogan, NTD News.